What will my cash to close be hypothetically? As we're talking about cash to close, probably the most important number we're going to talk about is the after repaired value. This is what the property is going to be worth once the repairs are done to it and it's back on the market. And let's say that after repaired value is $150,000. Now, one thing to note, most lenders don't lend on the after repaired value. They lend on what's called the as is value, which means they're going to do it for the purchase price. If you want a lender that's going to lend on the after repair value, you've got to be pretty specific about that. Now, most lenders are going to lend a percentage of the after repaired value. For us, we'll go up to, sometimes there are some deductions for various things, but we'll go up to 74%. So on 150,000, whoops, it's 74%. That's 111,000. That's going to be the max loan amount. Now, included in this loan amount, you're going to need to have, let's change colors here so we can get fancy. You're going to need to have your purchase price. You're going to need to have your rehab amount. You're going to have closing costs, which is going to be like title, which is going to be like loan origination, and you're going to want your interest expense for typically 5 months is what we do. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less. Now, if all of that is equal to 111,000, your amount of money cash to close is 0. Now, let's say that all of that ends up being 120,000. With that, your cash to close would be $9,000. Okay. Now with that, you can go back and try and renegotiate to get the price down, or you can just find a way to come up with that $9,000 or go and look for that better deal. But basically, you're looking at the after repaired value, 74% of that, minus the purchase, the rehab, the closing costs and title fees, loan fees, your interest expense, whatever's left over with that equation equals the amount of cash to close you're going to have to come up with. Now, it's important to note that all these things are going to be validated. For example, this after repaired value is going to need an appraisal that's done on an after repaired value. And to get that after repaired value, you're going to need a contractor's bid that talks about the work and quality workmanship that's going to be done in order for this after repaired value to be done. And that's going to also have to get verified that that rehab amount is correct. These fees are going to come from the title company and from the loan company. This is going to be a proportion of whatever that loan amount is. So the verification is really going to be the after repaired value and that rehab. And then based upon taking those down equals the amount of cash to close that you need to come up with to make the deal happen. So this is a very simple way to realize what you're going to have to come up with in a cash to close. If you've got a lender that's lending on the after repaired value, and if you've got a lender that's willing to lend to you where you don't have to come up with any money, 100% financing as long as it meets that 74% or less.